Presented by Edge Radio.
Hello and welcome to Media Shower on Edge Radio 99.3 FM.
With the hosts of the most, Lochie and Qom. So, what do you reckon we're going to talk about today, old sir?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, for those that were listening, we discussed Invincible Season 1. And
Yes.
I think we both enjoyed it. Would you like to give a little quick review before we move on to the newest episodes?
So, Invincible follows the life of a young teenage Mark Grayson who goes on to learning how to become the next best superhero after his father, also known as Omni-Man, was considered the best superhero on Earth. Until he betrayed Earth and basically betrayed everybody and just left. And now we have Season 2.
That about sums it up nicely. It's a bit of an adult animation, bit of comedy, lots of action, lots of violence involved.
Lots of gore.
Lots of
it, if you've got a strong stomach for it.
A bit similar to The Boys, but in animation form. It's kind of parodying the standard superhero story in a lot of ways. So we might get off right with spoilers for Season 2, Lockie. I think it's hard to avoid them. Or would you like to give a little not a recap, a quick review before we jump into spoilers?
Ooh, I shall try with the best abilities that I can, because I only managed to get half of the rest of Season 2 out, finished just 2 nights before this recording session. So I can't particularly remember the best when it comes to the first 2 episodes, but I'll try the best I can.
Just overall, did you enjoy it? Season
yeah.
2? Better than Season 1 or about the same?
I'd reckon Season 2 has got some, benefits compared to Season 1 with, how it takes its characters, how their dynamics go forth, and, just how they feel in general when it comes to, I guess, being in the field on the counts of being a superhero.
Yeah, I think it expands on it nicely. It's has all the additions that we felt like we needed. Overall, I'd recommend it. And we might start throwing some spoilers out. It's kind of hard to not do it.
This is about to go everything against my will, but yeah, let's go for it. So, to start things off, we have a returning villain from all the way back in Season 1 by the name of Angstrom Levi. Now, I can't remember if I pronounced that correctly, but after his encounter with a group known as the Molar Twins, he built himself a machine in order to travel to different dimensions. Now, I can't remember exactly what that purpose was, but Invincible in time came to stop the Molar Twins when the machine went accidentally haywire and, turned Angstrom Levi into a horrific version of his former self, let's say. Like, he's got a bigger brain for a head now. Like, it looks like the fact that if it has like a brain overload and starts pumping out, it's going to explode at any minute.
Become mutated, essentially. A mutant.
Yeah, almost to the point. And now he has the ability to travel through different dimensions throughout the multiverse.
When I started watching, I thought, not another multiverse story. I'm a bit over it.
Yeah,
we see him everywhere now, but...
Yeah, I can't help people today are a little bit tired of the multiverse storyline or idea, being the fact that it's so overused in today's standards, but I personally like to think otherwise, but I can see people's reasonings behind that.
To me, I think it's lazy writing in some ways that we say, well, if you don't enjoy this movie, there's a multiverse out there that you will enjoy. And I go, that doesn't make your movie or show any better. There's an alternative that I might like.
Yeah, that's just basically saying to us, there's an alternate world where we would have liked to show and not, the other way around.
Absolutely. And it's this idea that now everything's almost immortal. We can't kill off characters anymore because it has no meaning. There's just another multiverse where they exist.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you can't really kill off characters in particular nowadays. Like, again, with spoilers, in particular in Season 2, it was suggested that the character known as Duplicate would sacrifice herself during a beatdown against the Lizard Squad, who were they considered to be a bunch of D-list villains, but were, as soon as they appeared on the screen, they were proven to us otherwise.
Yeah,
They were
absolutely.
very powerful, admittedly, and they look like they could give the Guardians of the Globe a run for their money.
Yeah, they really almost brought an end to them. I agree, though. Duplicate, she should have died. Rexplosion should have died. There's a few characters in this show that you think...
Rexplode, especially. I mean,
You
a
think,
bloody
how did they survive that?
I mean, a shot to the head, for goodness sakes.
It all just seems a little... I enjoy when they kill off some characters. It surprises me. Immortal is back as well.
But I guess for the sake of Immortal, it does somewhat make sense.
Well, I guess it's in the name, isn't it?
Yeah, in the name as well.
A little obvious. But there's other characters, though, that I think should have been forgotten that haven't. And I actually like that certain minor characters are brought back and they play a major plot device. Someone like Donald.
Yeah, I
a
thought...
Will character. They're everyday civilians that we have in Season 1.
Yeah, I liked that side plot. I thought that was really going to go somewhere, but whereas unfortunately it didn't, I still enjoyed the fact that they put it in the show because it still made you more or less kind of want to make you ask questions. Like, how does that make them particularly think on a daily basis, knowing that they're just going to die the next time they sacrifice themselves, they're just going to be rebuilt better and stronger.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the big themes for this season is you know, a superhero might go out and save someone, but it's kind of what are the repercussions afterwards for being saved when you should have died?
Yeah, like you get all this absolutely cool stuff. Like, you cannot deny it's cool, but yeah, like you say, it's what comes with the repercussions of said person carrying that responsibility, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's like the Peter Parker story, where a young man has to go through the sense of responsibility.
Yeah, they're
he's been
forced
put on.
to almost redeem themselves, or they get this extra responsibility that they've been given, and most of them don't know how to handle that.
And speaking of a certain webhead, we actually, well, how do I say this? More or less get a cameo of a old voice actor from Spider-Man, voicing a parody Spider-Man known as Agent Spider. And that appearance, although lasted about, I believe, 2 minutes in the last episode, that really made me smile. Like, I love that part.
Yeah, they have... he's traveling... Invincible's going to these different multiverses, and he's meeting characters that we already know, but are parodies. So there's Agent Spider, there's Professor Ock, or Prof Ock, I think they call him.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit funny.
And he meets Batman, and he says a very funny line.
Yeah, it's obvious the way he says it, but they don't show us it's Batman, you know?
Yeah, he looks at Batman and he says, so you're a man that dresses up as a bat, and you decided your name would be... And then it cuts scene.
And then something about a millionaire, and then it just cuts out. Yeah, and how in a previous bunch of episodes they decided to make fun of their own selves based on the animation and art style. I thought that was incredibly funny.
Yeah, it's
just the way they described how long it would take for them specifically in joke to make the animation and how much time the fight scenes do. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very self-aware show in that style. That yeah, they go and meet an animator within the show, and the animator points to all the ways to cut corners, and then they're cutting corners while the animator describes this.
I really thought that scene was a delight.
I'd say overall, I'm really happy with this season. There's a few little issues, like I said, some characters should die, and I think it's maybe missing a big resolution.
And
This season.
don't even get me started on Omni-Man and his decisions on a planet known as Fraxon. Yeah, the less we talk about that, the better, I think.
It's a dirty mind, old Omni Man.
Omni-Man has a very selective mind when it comes to who he specifically chooses when it comes to the ladies.
Absolutely. It's yeah, I wasn't expecting that from season. I wasn't expecting season 2 to bring that in at all. It was
You called my mom a pet and now you're marrying this other lady? I had no choice, Mark.
I do like how they brought Omni-Man back though. I thought he would still play the villain for a bit longer.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, in the end, he, in a way, is now regretful of his actions.
I thought they played it out really nice though. They show him kind of alone through the universe, dealing
Yeah.
with his own previous decisions.
Yeah, just him constantly thinking his decisions throughout and what he did.
Yeah, really reminiscing on his life back home.
Just wondering why would he care for such, quote-unquote, misusable life forms, I guess.
The other great thing I like about this season is Alan,
Ah,
who plays a huge role in it. He was briefly in season 1.
but now he is playing a major role in Season 2, and what we can only assume will play a bigger role in Season 3.
Yeah, Alan the Alien. He essentially has his own episode this season,
Yeah,
which I quite enjoyed.
I thought it was funny when they parodied the Invincible logo with Alan the Alien. That was funny.
That was pretty good. Even how they introed and outroed it, I thought was, yeah, very, very good. And I imagine he's, of course, voiced by Seth Rogen, who I'm not a huge fan of, actually. I think... I don't
He's
know.
a
He's a mixed
hit and
bag.
miss.
Yeah, hit and miss in many of his ventures.
Yeah, I would agree with you. It's a hit and miss when it comes to Seth Rogen nowadays. But when it came to Alan the Alien, he knew what he was doing,
Yeah, I think he produces Invincible as well. So
or at least a co-producer, I believe,
Oh, well,
alongside
there's a million and
Robert
one
Kirkman.
producers, I think. Yeah.
Because I believe Robert Kirkman, if I'm not mistaken, was the writer for the comic and the show.
Yep, I think you're right.
All right. So overall, I would recommend this to anyone who is a fan of superheroes, action, and a little bit of drama.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say anyone who likes the superhero stories, in particular animation, you'd really
Yep,
enjoy
animation.
this. I don't think there's really any other series at the moment that competes or is as good. The only one I could think was One Punch Man, which is Japanese. But I think Invincible really fills that void at the moment, and hopefully we get more. They've announced more. but
Yeah, they have.
We might have to wait a while.
Yeah, they have announced season 3. The voice work has just been finished, apparently, from what I've heard. Like, I'm not sure how true that is, but good for them. And let's hope the future for Invincible is bright.
Absolutely.
So anyway, guys, we're going to have to cut this one out, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. You're listening to Edge Radio.